Bonjour à tous. Hello everyone. It is midnight. C'est minuit, and I took a nap earlier today, so I am full of energy, and I am working on this. So, if you attended class, we talked about Unité 3, Unité 3, Leçon B, and it is called Les Matières. This whole unit is about school, right? You've been in school for how many years? Who better to talk about school than yourself and learn French while you talk about school, right? Okay, we are skipping leçon A, we'll come back to it, but we're going to start off with leçon B, les matières, which I think are great. Les buts are goals. So our language function is what can we do in the language, or what should we be practicing? I can describe my classes and my teachers. La culture. I can compare French testing to US testing. The ultimate goal is to compare school in France to school in the United States. Ce sont les buts. On va commencer avec le vocabulaire de matière. This will help us describe our classes. Les matières, les sciences, very general. Les sciences, nous avons la biologie, biology. Répétez, la biologie. La biologie. La chimie. La chimie, chemistry. La physique. La physique, physics. You can also take languages, or you speak languages already. Les langues, languages. Les langues. We have one of the best, le français. Le français. One that I would think you speak if you're listening to this would be l'anglais. L'anglais. I speak English. L'anglais. Le français. Je parle le français. Some of you might be native speakers or have heard this before. L'espagnol. 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 Spanish. And your other classmates and some of you have taken le chinois. Le chinois. Chinese. Obviously there are so many. Le coréen, le polonais. But these are just 4 applicable to spear. We have les maths. This is just to say math. Any math. If you want to get specific, we have l'algèbre, l'algèbre, la géométrie, la géométrie, and le calcul, le calcul, le calcul. I'm not quite sure how to say pre-calculus, but I'll let you know. So these kind of look like English, right? Algebra, geometry, and calculus. Another matière you could take at school would be les arts plastiques. Les arts plastiques. And this is just the art, like art classes, right? Such as painting or drawing, le peinture, le dessin. But it's just very general, just art, les arts plastiques. You'll also hear people shorten it to les arts. La musique, music class. L'informatique, l'informatique. Like a computer class, computer science. This one's a mouthful. l'éducation physique et sportive, l'éducation physique et sportive, or short, le EPS, l'EPS, l'EPS. And that is your good old gym class. And l'histoire, 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 all together, l'histoire, history. You want to get specific about what kind of history? L'histoire grecque, Greek history. L'histoire américain. L'histoire latino-américain. L'histoire Angleterre. But just general, l'histoire. Les adjectifs, right? So now you have your classes and you want to be able to describe them with these adjectives. These adjectives describe people, places, or things. So you're going to describe class. And then later on, you're going to be able to describe people. So, les adjectifs. Mon cours de est, we have two adjectives here. We have facile et difficile. Facile, difficile. Facile is easy. Et difficile kind of looks like difficult, means hard. So the sentence up at the top says, Mon cours de blank, my class of is, so I can plug in right after the DE to whatever class I want. Et is, and then at the end you can say facile or difficile. Mon cours de français est facile. If French is easy to you, mon cours de français est facile. If French is hard, difficult, mon cours de français est difficile. Mon cours de français est facile ou difficile. Mon cours de physique, not PE, but physics. Mon cours de physique est facile or difficile, depends. For me, when I was in high school, c'était difficile. Mostly because my teacher died like 4 days after class started my freshman year. So we were just kind of like, a substitute teacher was teaching us physics. So, c'était difficile. Le EPS. Le EPS est, is it facile for you? Or is it difficile for you? Pour moi, c'est facile. Le EPS, le éducation physique et sportive. Up to you, right? It's your opinion. When you talk about people, these are some adjectives to describe them. Mon prof, mon, M-O-N is for male, and ma is for female. So, mon prof, like Mr. Nevin, et ma prof, like me, right? Mon prof, ma prof. You can say drôle, which is funny. Drôle. Intéressant. If I want to say Mr. Nevin or Halkias, I would say mon prof est intéressant. But if you want to say mademoiselle is interesting, it would be mademoiselle est intéressante. You would hear that T at the end. Intelligent for males, intelligente for women. Énergique, just energetic, right? Méchant for males. If you have a mean professor, mon prof est méchant. If, let's say I'm mean, you would say ma prof est méchante. You hear that T at the end. And then cool. So how do you describe your classes? You say mon cours, with whatever, is something. So my whatever subject is something. For example, mon cours de biologie est difficile. My biology class is hard. Or, a little bit shorter, c'est, and then whatever adjective. C'est facile. C'est difficile. C'est intéressante. C'est intéressant. Right? Depends. How do you describe your classes and your teacher, right? If you're talking about your teacher, you would go with il est, and then whatever adjective you want to describe. If you're talking about her, elle est, and then whatever adjective. Il est intelligent. Elle est intelligente. If you're talking about your class, same thing. C'est cool. C'est facile. C'est difficile. Or you want to say math is cool. Les maths est cool. La biologie est cool. Le français est intéressant. L'espagnol est intéressant. All right, so now we're getting into listening exercises. So listen to Rosalie and Mathis talk about their schedules. Write in French each class/activity in the order that is mentioned. On the side of this, you will see a link to the script, and you can replay this over and over again.
Salut Mathis, on a quel cours ce matin? On a biologie à 9h, puis on a 2 heures de maths avec Monsieur Lal. Vraiment? Après les maths, on a quoi? On a anglais et après on mange à la cantine. Et cet après-midi, on a informatique, espagnol et EPS, n'est-ce pas? Ouais, c'est ça.
One more time, all right? Use the dialogue, the link to help you.
Salut Rosalie. Salut Mathis. On a quel cours ce matin? On a biologie à 9h, puis on a 2 heures de maths avec Monsieur Lal. Vraiment? Après les maths, on a quoi? On a anglais et après on mange à la cantine. Et cet après-midi, on a informatique, espagnol et EPS, n'est-ce pas? Ouais, c'est ça.
So, there are 6 classes. Which one comes first? Which one second? What's third? And so on. What's the order of his schedule? Okay, so now la culture. These are questions to think about as I talk and read. On which day do French students not have class in the afternoon? School attendance is mandatory. You have to go. In France, until when? What age or what grade? Number 3, what is le bac and why is it important? And where do French schools get their name from? So, interesting fact. Some French teenagers don't have school on Wednesday afternoon, but they have to attend class on Saturday morning. School cafeterias usually offer lunch on Wednesday, but not on Saturday. Would you rather have class on a Wednesday afternoon or not have it on Wednesday afternoon, but you have to go to school on Saturday morning? What would you prefer? Les cours et les examens. School attendance at un collège, or middle school, or un lycée, high school, takes up to 950 hours of a French teen's life. In France, school is mandatory until students earn a diploma at the end of middle school. Students in middle school mostly take general courses. When they move to high school, they choose a specialization, such as literature, science, economics, or technical studies. So, as soon as you get to high school, you have to pick what kind of path you're going to go into for your future. So, I would have gone into science in high school if I wanted to continue being a doctor. Obviously, that didn't work out because now I'm teaching, right? But you should know what you want to do with your life in high school. Students spend 3 years at the lycée Spear, right? High school. In their second year, they begin preparing for le bac, an exit exam they must pass in order to receive a diploma. About 80% of students pass the exam on the first time around. If students fail le bac, they will need to repeat their last year of high school and retake the exam. Only those students who pass will be allowed to attend a state university, which, like their previous schooling, is free. So your second year, you're preparing for this exam called le bac for short, but the official name is le baccalauréat. And each baccalaureate is different depending on what career you've picked. If you're in sciences, you get a bac specifically for science. Literature, you get a literature bac. If you fail, you don't retake the exam like the ACT or the SAT. You have to retake the whole year of school and then the exam. If you pass, you'll probably end up going to college, or the university, and you will probably only have to pay for your books. And that's the case for middle school and high school and college. Most of the time schools are free. So, le baccalauréat. Once you get les résultats, the results, you'll get an email, and sometimes you'll show up to school and your school will post the results for everyone to see. But also, you can click on whatever region you're from. For example, you would pick Illinois or California or New York, but you pick the region where you are in France. Then you find your school, and you can see the list of everybody who passed and who didn't pass. So, for example, I went online to the French website, and I went to the test that was taken in September, and I can see here all of the people who passed and who didn't, or who passed it on their second chance. Do you have your test results posted nationally for everyone to see? How would you feel if everyone could see your results? Je vais au lycée Gauguin. Many French schools are named after people who played an important role in the arts, like Claude Monet and Jacques Brel. In the sciences, like Marie Curie and Louis Pasteur. Or from literature, like Victor Hugo and Émile Zola. Schools may also bear the name of historical figures like King Henri IV, or former French President François Mitterrand. This tradition is practiced throughout the Francophone world, where schools receive the name of local heroes. Le lycée Gauguin in Papeete, Tahiti, and Le lycée Chauffreur in Fort-de-France, Martinique are just two examples. So on the left side we have lycée Gauguin, and on the right side, à la gauche, Paul Gauguin, et à la droite, to the right, lycée Chauchleur. Have you attended any schools that have names of famous or influential people? Or do you know any famous schools with names of influential people? So, for example, my middle school was Melrose Park Elementary, but there was a school, our rival school, named Jane Addams Elementary School, and Jane Addams was a woman who founded Hull House here in Chicago for immigrants. So, what about you? Do you know any schools? Any rival schools? Schools you went to? Okay, answer these questions. On which day do French students not have class in the afternoon? 2. School attendance is mandatory in France until when? 3. What is le bac and why is it important? 4. Where do many French schools get their name from? So, asynchronous, do this Edpuzzle. Please come to class ready to talk about le bac, about the ACT and the SAT, about testing, how you feel about testing and your experience with it, and also with practicing the vocabulary of the subjects that you take. All right? Au revoir, à bientôt, à la prochaine.